Hey, welcome back to Sports Cards Analysis. I'm JT with another case break simulation. Today we got 2022-23 SP Authentic Hockey, a product I know a lot of people are waiting for, and I got this video done very early, so you have plenty of time to use my research to make your decisions on which teams and cards, players, whatever types of breaks you want to get into. Here's some of the cards you might expect. I just took these off of Beckett.com. So you can just see some examples. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm going to give you a bunch of analysis, and I'm going to, hopefully help you make good decisions about which teams to buy in group breaks. But if you don't hit, I'm just going to say it. I'm not responsible for that. But hopefully this research will help you hit. I mean, I'm giving you a higher probability. So with that out of the way, the Steel City price of this case is $2,799. And if we distribute the cost of that case across all cards, technically what we're paying for is the probability of getting a hit. So instead of paying for the best teams with the best checklist, you're paying for the best probability of getting a hit. And the way we do that is just by counting up the cards by print run. Now, I do make some assumptions here, so you might be saying, I don't think the Flyers have 18,000 cards. They might have more than that. I assume that the base set just has a print run of 2,000. Just so that when I do the computations, everything works out without my computer crashing. So I do make some assumptions. I didn't calculate the exact print run of this set, but where the print run's not listed, I just either make assumptions or I use the pack odds to generate an educated guess. So anyway, if you wanted to make your purchase based on the number of autographs only, which I think a lot of people do, that's a hit. You want hits. So you base your purchase on which teams have the most autographs. Now, you might look at this and see that the number of unique autographs, this is the metric that a lot of checklist websites put out, how many total cards are there per team. You see that they go in this order: the Canadiens, the Flyers, Blue Jackets, Senators. But when you look at the print run of the autographs, it's actually much different. The Flyers, then the Blue Jackets, then the Canadiens, because even though they have more unique cards, they might have lower print runs, like 1 of 1, 1 of 5, 1 of 10. Whereas this team might have more that are in the 900 range. There's some of the autograph future watch have 949 print run, with the inscribed cards being to 49. So there's 1,000 autographs per player just for the future watch. So anyway, having said that, this is the order that you want to go by, because this will give you the probability, higher probability. So if you buy your teams in this order, you'll have a higher probability of getting a hit. The price per team that you would pay if you are only paying for probability. Now, mind you, I'm going to go into great detail about the value of each player and the checklist as a whole. But if you wanted to pay for that probability, you pay around $190 for the Flyers, and you go down from there. Now, that's just for autographs. That's the top 10. I'm not going to get too much into more about the autographs. Let's just look at the total number of cards. So if you're looking to join an SP Authentic break and you want to walk away with something, buy these teams in this order: the Canadiens, Blue Jackets, Ducks, Flyers. Pay around this price, because this is where you'll walk away with having paid for probability. It's kind of a fairness metric. If you pay this price, you won't walk, and basically when you open a case, you have the most likelihood of hitting a Canadian, so it's worth this much to pay that. So we'll just go in order here: 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, and then the remaining teams and all the teams with like dual, triple, quadruple teams on one card. All right, let's see. Back to the first page there. Now, that's if you want to pay for probability. Now, what if you want to pay for the strength of the checklist? Well, I use data from eBay and Check Out My Cards to kind of assign a US dollar value to each player. And then I use those dollar values to generate an ROI score, this player checklist strength score. My scale is 1 to 5, a high profit ROI. So you get a card, you're going to sell it for a profit. That's a 5. You get a card and it's a bench player. You're not going to sell that card ever, or you'll sell it at a loss. That's going to be a 1 or a 2. So based on those prices and those values and the popularity of some of the players, I run 200 case breaks. 200. I used to run 20. Now I do 200. As long as my computer can handle it, I'll run 200 case breaks. I do a simulation and then I average up those ROIs. I also use the ranks to figure out how strong the checklist is. So now, having said all that, here's the strength of this product. So SP Authentic kind of has a big distribution in the 1 to 3 range, but there are a decent amount of 5. So there's some Ovechkin autographs in here. There's some decent stuff in here. So that's kind of what that looks like. There's not a lot of 4s, but there's a good amount of 5s. Overall, though, the product strength for autos is about a 2.5. There's a lot of lower value autographs from what I've been able to see. Some guys I wasn't able to get data on because Future Watch has a lot of newer guys that don't have like autographs out on the market. So it's hard to assess their value if there's no data. So keep that in mind. That 2.5 might be kind of low because of how many Future Watch guys there are in this. But 3.0 overall product strength out of 5. That's right, just above average. So there you go. Now, based on those values that I scrape off of those websites, I run 200 case break simulations and I average out the ROI. Now, this number is super low. You're going to wind up paying well over $100 for the Canadians. But this is average ROI by 200 cases. I will tell you in a minute. The next table that I show you will tell you how many cases I hit, each type of hit in for the Canadians in this product. So, but let's just look at average ROI across 200 cases. So your best bet to get your highest ROI is to buy the Canadians, because obviously you'll pay more than $22, but what I'm saying here is that if you were to buy 200 cases of this would be your average ROI. I know it's not very high. You'd probably make a decent amount of money, but there's a bunch of cases. I mean, we're talking like maybe over 100 cases where you don't even hit an autograph from the Canadians. So that's why that number's so low. But the Canadians have the strongest checklist in this product. They have the greatest number of players with which return the highest ROI. And that's how you can read that full product strength. Now, I do break it down by base, autograph, parallel, insert. I'm not going to go into that too much. I'm just going to use this ROI. So ignoring the fact that this number is very small because it's across 200 cases, let's just look at the order in which we get the best ROI, the best return on investment by team for SP Authentic. So you got the first page, here's the second page. Just take screenshots, use this in your purchasing. I think that this is probably one of the more accurate metrics to use. Even though that number's small, just consider it a ranking more than a dollar value there. Okay? So, and then you can use this full product strength to kind of see which teams have the best return on investment as far as the checklist goes. Even though I might not have hit as many times of the Ottawa Senators, it is the second strongest team in the set. So that's an interesting way to kind of look at everything. And let's move on. So that tells you across 200 cases, but maybe you want to know what the hits were when they hit. What's the ROI when it hits? So, for example, the best team that I was able to get was on 51 cases out of 200. So, 1/4 of the time I was hitting a Seattle Kraken autograph. And if I were to sell those autographs from all 51 cases, on average I was making about $99 per break. Not per card, per break. So so if I get multiple autographs in one of these cases, then I sell them, average them out. So this table, I'm going to go through all these pages, maybe not all 29, but I'll go through a bunch of these pages. Here's what you need to know about this table. I think this is probably the best table to use in your analysis. The one above it's good for ranking the teams. This one tells you what type of hit, so autograph, memorabilia, base, parallel, whatever, by team, and then it tells you how many cases that was hit in. So, for example, Buffalo Sabres autographs were hit in 104 cases out of 200. This is a simulation, but I use pack odds and I use the hobby box configuration to derive this simulation. So it's as realistic as possible. And I just want you to know that I did this for Topps Tier 1, and I went and watched a bunch of breaks that had just come out yesterday. And these distributions are pretty good. You know, it's hard to get perfect because a lot of this is random, but this is a pretty good distribution. So you should expect that about half the time, one in every 2 cases, there will be a Sabres autograph. So let's just go through these and just keep that in mind, that this is telling you how often, how frequently you might hit this type of card with this team. So there you go for that. And here's page 2 for that. Just take screenshots and refer back to it, or just keep watching my video. Just refer back to it, hit pause, and kind of gather the information you need, and then move on. So this team right here, Washington Capitals autographs, 120 cases had that in the simulation. But then you look at the Hartford Whalers, and that's because that's a card that's an update, like a redemption style update, and that only hit in 1 case. So obviously, don't pay a lot for that. If someone's offering it, that'd be nuts. And then you got autographs from the Kings in 137 cases. That's pretty good. So let's just go through these. Take your screenshots. Use it. 180 cases for Bruins inserts. Well, who cares? People care. I know there's some good stuff in here, but there 193 cases for Kraken parallels. So if you're a parallel chaser, you got those Future Watch parallels. You got the base parallels. All of those. What are they called? Limiteds. That might be a good thing to chase after. So there you go. There's page 7, 8, and then once we stop seeing autographs in here, I'm gonna just move on to the next table. Nashville Predators. Look at that. Came up in 28 cases. Not a lot of ROI there though. Remember, that's averaged out. Remember, it's averaged out. So you get, if you get the Canadians, you'll get a base card at least in every single case. That makes sense, right? As we get down towards the base, it's going to be more total. All the cases will have those base. We'll have those teams. So okay, so that Blues autograph, 75 cases. I'll stop there at page 12. Use this information, people. It is really. I wish I had this when I was really buying into breaks more. Right now, I'm really selective of which breaks I buy into. But man, if I had this information back in the day, I'd have been just hitting all the time. All right. Give yourself the best likelihood to hit. All right, so now let's just talk about the master checklist. Just all the players, all the cards in the checklist. Let's just look at which player has the most cards. It's this guy right here. And this is by all cards. If we want to look at who has the most autographs, we have almost 3,000 autographs from the same guy. And then it's kind of in the same order there. So there you have it with the autographs. And then I don't think anyone cares about parallels and inserts. So let's just look at all cards. This is assessed from the print run. I do make some assumptions here. Let's just go over the first couple. So if you're chasing a certain player, here's like the top, we'll just do 50, top 50 players. Again, take screenshots and refer back to this when you're making your purchases. There you go. If you're chasing any of these people, there's the total number of cards they have in this set. Now, what about teams? How do the teams pan out? Well, we've kind of seen this already because I do this in the distribution of cards per value of the case. So here's just kind of your 1 through 30 on that. It's just total number of cards by team. That's it. That's an easy table to go through. Now print runs, I really only care about this right here. How many one-of-ones are there? A lot of products these days have over 1,000 one-of-ones in them that you can chase. You know, there's tons of cases. There's like thousands of cases of cards, and you can chase. But this product only has 278 one-of-ones. I think so far, you know, other than the really high-end products that you're only getting like 1 or 2 cards per hobby box, this is the lowest number of one-of-ones I've seen. So it's actually quite difficult to get a one-of-one in this product, an SP Authentic. But if you are chasing one-of-ones, here's the teams that you should look at. The Canadians, the Ducks, Maple Leafs, Flyers. These teams all have the most one-of-ones. I'll just do the top 10 here of any other team. Don't really worry about these other. I mean, yeah, you get a 1 of 5, but would you chase that? No, you're chasing one-of-ones. So let's just cover that. If you want them, buy one of these 10 teams. Okay. Now I do 200 simulations, 200 case break simulations. Let's just kind of look at one case first and see what type of stuff we can expect. So in this case, the lowest print run that I was able to get was 99. It looks like. Oh yeah, there's a lot of not numbered cards. You got to go pretty far in to get to that. So 99 was the lowest print run card I was able to get. And let's see what type of autographs I was able to get out of this. And we should have, I think, 32, yes, because of how many there are per box and per case. So for this one case, these are the quality of autographs that I was able to get for one case break. So are there great autographs in here? Maybe. But you could see that the print runs are super high, and some of these, like the round numbers 500, 400, those are educated guesses from me on some of the pack odds. I just had to make a guess, but here you go on those. So that's pretty much all I'm going to show for that one case, except for the breakdown of like how many cards per team, which is what this is. So for one case, we got the most cards. This is the number of cards for that one case we got by team. Now I will show this for all 200 cases, so stick around. And I'll do that. We didn't get any one of ones, but for 200 cases, now we're going to get into the 200. Ignore this, I forgot to update that. For 200 cases, we got this many one of ones. These are the one of ones we got. Most of them are the black limiteds, and we got 37 of them. That means that if you were to kind of extrapolate that number across all the cases, that less than 1/4 of the time, you will get a one of one. But the most of these are the Future Watch black limiteds, which are not autographed. And again, there's very few. There's only under 250 in this product. So that's really the number we're concerned about here is 37. That's what you can expect out of 200 cases is less than 1/4 of the time you'll get a one of one. It's hard to get a one of one in this product. So ROI by team for the first 20 cases of that 200 case break simulation. So this is just to show you by team here. Hopefully you can see those logos. Which teams had the best ROI by break. And this is to show you that there are good teams in here. You can hit, like, just because the Canadians have high ROI doesn't mean that there's not a break where some of these other teams have, a better ROI or similarly high ROI. But then there are cases where, like the Sabres, for example, see this fluctuation? There's differences here. So just take a look at these bar charts and kind of see, like, if you're looking to get lucky, if you're trying to just gamble a little bit, which I don't recommend, you could pick, okay, well, this team, I can't really figure out which logo that is, but maybe, what is that, the Senators maybe? It's different per break, so there's a chance you could still hit really well. So just look at these charts and figure out kind of what type of ROI you're interested in. That the Avalanche have a high ROI here, low here, but they have some where they're high, I think. Okay, anyway, you probably don't want to look at this bar chart for too long, but I think it's a good representation of how, look at the Penguins just explode there in that one. It's a good representation of how maybe you can buy a lesser priced team, a lower priced team, and still make a lot of money on ROI. All right, and sometimes this isn't about making money, it's about collecting cards, and everyone says that, but I'm just talking about ROI here. I don't care about anything else. You just want to spend your money and you want to make as much back as possible. That's really the point here. So across 200 cases, here's the distribution of cards per team. 12,000 cards for the Canadians in those 200 breaks, and here's the top 20. So use that'll give you a good indication of where to kind of focus your attention if you want cards. And I did get all those one of ones, those 36 one of ones, and the ones I got the most of were the Islanders. So even though I think it was the Canadians that had the most one of ones, in 200 breaks got the most Islanders. So maybe that's something you could try. Again, 4 out of 200 is not a lot, so I wouldn't use that as a metric to kind of make purchases on. And here's the last table just to show you by card type out of 200 case breaks where were the most cards per team. So here's the top 20 I'll probably do for each of these. So autographs, we got the most Flyers, then the Blue Jackets, Canadians, Kings, Wings, Red Wings, and you can kind of see the rest there. Use that, take your screenshots. Now, base cards no one really cares about, but if you are chasing some of those insert sets, here's the teams that provided the best probability of hitting an insert. There you go, top 20. And then parallels, if you're chasing those, here you go. Blue Jackets have over 100 more than any other team. And there you go for parallels. So that's it. That is 2022-23 SP Authentic. I'm glad I was able to get this done really early. If you have any questions, let me know. This data is not posted anywhere, but I would appreciate it if you like, subscribe, comment, do whatever YouTubers typically say, and just enjoy the videos. Thanks a lot, everyone. Good luck in your breaks.